Hey everybody, Anish Majumdar here, career coach to the fiercely ambitious. Answering a question that, especially since this pandemic has kicked up into high gear, has become much more of a traditional concern, and it might surprise you. And it is this one. Should you use a green screen for anything professional and professionally related? And let me share a little example from sitting on the other side of the table, not necessarily from you as someone who is looking to interview, someone who's looking to win over a highly placed leader, someone who's looking to make a case for his or herself to land something better. Let's just imagine we're on the other side, okay? A few weeks ago, I was interviewing someone for a role at my company, and we're talking, and things are going well. The rapport is cooking along, and we're moving along, and he's getting really excited. And somewhere around the first third, he gesticulates really kind of wildly. I'm not judging. I do the same thing. Look at these arms, you know. I will. But in his case, he does it, and what happens? We've all seen this. There's like a little tear in the fabric of the universe. We see this little green sort of outline there. And instantly I realized that I was not looking at a real representation of his room or his office. This was a fake set on the back. And there's a bunch of ways you can do this. You can add in a background using Zoom if you're on a Zoom session. If you are a streamer, you can use some piece of software called like OBS to port in a static background and fuzz it out enough so that you use it as a standard. There's all sorts of ways that you can use it, some more agile than others. But in this case, he moved too quickly and you could see, oh, it's a blanking effect, right? And I have to be honest with you, it instantly took me out of the whole meeting, you know? It instantly got me saying, wow, this guy can't trust me enough to be real with me. He has to fake it on some level, which may or may not have been the case, right? He might just prefer the background, but that's where my thought went. And now what else is real? And I found myself questioning this person more than I might have. I found myself being way less susceptible to looking at things his way. And I found myself just double thinking. And are these the things that you really want associated with you? This is my question to you guys. Because look, there's a question of convenience here. You know, if I use a digital background and I'm not, as I'm sure you can see, right? This is humble, but what you see is an authentic representation. This is where I work. This is where I work with people. This is where I show people a different way of moving forward in their careers so they can generate their own opportunities on demand and don't have to be subservient to others. Right here is where that happens, right? So it is humble. There's nothing crazy about it. I'm not like some YouTuber with a Lamborghini behind me. That's not me, but it's real. And I am giving up the relative convenience of being able to show up however I want. I'm having this thing be a nightmarish setup. I didn't even bother to clean it up, and I can just put a background on it, right? But in exchange for that convenience of a green screen, I've sacrificed trust. Because if at any moment, and trust me, none of these technologies are strong enough to completely save it, and why would you? If at any moment I realize that you're faking it, now it's going to make me question everything else. And to me, the number one thing I have to have when I'm dialoguing with anyone is trust. If there's no trust, there's no outcome. It doesn't matter what my qualifications are, what yours are, what the pain is, what we're trying to solve, where the conversation goes. If I don't trust you, forget it. It's not happening. There's no business being done without trust. So I would rather you judge me, quite frankly, for my background and say, yup, this is my real background. This is where I work. I stand by it. And know that I'm engaging with you with everything that you can see as a representation of the same integrity that I would bring to the face-to-face or not. And if you want to judge me, judge me. Sayonara, right? See you when I see you. So to me, it is a question of the relative convenience of these backgrounds and these green screens versus the reduction in trust. And for me, there's no question about that. For me, it's an absolute clear no exceptions, never use a green screen. And if that means you have to spend a little bit of time arranging this space, do it. It's your space. You can control the narrative by controlling this space, and you can do a hell of a lot better job than some crappy, unconvincing generic background. You know, one client I worked with, her husband wanted to play a bigger role. in this new future that she was carving out for herself. So when she was out, he put up all of her degrees. She was a Green Bay Packers fan, so he had Packers fan stuff, memorabilia around her, and it looked like a wonderful representation of the person, and it bolstered her credibility. Anyone, without her saying a word, you see those degrees. Okay, we're talking with a professional here. We're talking with an expert in what she does, right? So ask yourself, how can I make this an honest space? How can I make it an authentic space? And then how can I start making it an inspiring space? A place that I can look at and say, wow, we built this from nothing, you know? I look at my space, which started out extremely humbly, and I say I started with a crappy Toshiba laptop, and look at where we are today. You know, that's an amazing thing. But you're not going to get there by faking it. So a simple answer to a simple question. Do I recommend you use green screens? No, never. Never. I recommend that your number one focus should be knowing, liking, and trusting. How do I foster those in every person I'm speaking with? And I would rather you be real and faltered than perfect and fake. All right, guys, great question. Keep the questions coming. If you want to go deeper into my world, helloanish.com, HELLOANISH.com is where you need to go next. Follow me on LinkedIn as well. That I'm always sharing insights, advice that you're just not going to get anywhere else. The corporate interests have no interest in you understanding stuff like this, but I do. Helloanish.com is where you need to go next if you want to keep going deeper down that rabbit hole. Thank you guys for the questions. Keep them coming. Talk soon.